What's going on, everybody? My name's Tenebris, and let's be honest, the real meat and potatoes of base building is building the walls around your base. So today, I've come up with 7 different wall designs that you could put in and around your base in order to protect yourself from the machines, look good while doing it, and also have some incredibly functionable walls set up around your base. Now with these 7 designs, I tried to vary things up as much as I possibly could. With some of them, I've tried to design brand new doors, just in case if anybody doesn't like the current doors that we have in place in the game, especially because the doors that we currently have in the game only run on evens, so some of these doors run on odds, which might work better for your base. Alongside that, I've also tried to design some walls here that have lighting built into them. That way, you can kind of keep all of your lighting nice and organized around your base, instead of just having it scattered around. And then, for a couple of these walls, I've tried to design some defensive emplacements built into your walls. So first off, for one of the more simple lighting designs, we've got a 4-wide wall here that utilizes kind of offsetting the small walls alongside the lighting in order to make a nice flush kind of organized wall that also keeps all of your lighting in one place. Now, when you build these walls with lighting built into them, they can be pretty expensive for lights, so you might want to decide how you place your lighting based on how your base is designed. You might want more lighting, you might want less lighting in certain particular areas. Now, to get this wall built, you're going to start off by laying down 3 tall walls kind of back to back to each other so that you have the flush side of the wall facing out and the pegs facing inwards. I really like doing this with my walls because you wind up with this funny little hidden kind of tunnel here, and that's something that you can really work into your base. If any of you dudes watched my video of me and Wired taking on waves the other day, I designed my mega base with that in mind, and it works really well. Now, for the lighting in the outer portion of this 4-wide wall, you're going to take your lamps and you're going to place them with 3 grid spaces in between them. That way you could place down your small walls with the flat side facing towards the flush side in order to make this kind of really nice barricaded kind of look to your wall. And the double impact of having so many walls just kind of aligned like this is you wind up with a really dense cluster of walls that will be pretty much impossible for the machines to get through. The machines have a hard enough time making it through 2 walls. If you've got 4 walls in their way, they're probably never going to breach that inner perimeter. Now, next up, we're going to be taking a look at another 4-wide wall, but this time it's a 4-wide wall that serves as a door in and out of your base. This is really nice because the doors currently only run on even in the game, so that can kind of limit the way you design your base when it comes to how you plan and design your doors. But with something like this in place, you have the freedom to design your base however you like without those even doors kind of dictating the way you're going to design things. So to build this wall, what you're going to do is you're going to take 2 tall walls and have the flush sides facing outwards, just like we did with the last wall. You're then going to take 2 pylons and place them to kind of cap off those tall walls. Then you're going to take some small walls, place the flat sides back to back so that you can hop up and over that wall utilizing the logs. And then you're going to mirror what you did on the right side on the left side. Then, starting at where the pylons are, you're going to place down a small wall, and then you're going to place a pylon on the far side of that small wall, just kind of capping it all off and making that 3-wide grid that we've made here with these walls. This wall chunk is super easy to make. I highly advise you slap it in wherever you need a door that is odd, and also it's a little bit faster than doors too, because you don't have to wait for that door opening animation. Now, for the next wall, I wanted to build a wall that had the lighting hidden inside of it so that you didn't have to see the lampposts. And utilizing the lanterns, I think I figured out a pretty decent way of making a wall that also doubles as a light source. To build this wall, you just need to lay down 3 small walls, and then what you're going to build on the inside is this kind of checkerboard system of placing down the pylons. In order to make this the easiest way, you just want to place down your 2 pylons with 1 grid space in between them, and then fill that individual grid space as you go through. Then you could place down your lighting, and there's a couple ways you could place down your lighting. If you want to, you could place down your lighting as you're placing down those middle pylons. Or you could place down your lighting from on top by hopping up and on top of the pylons. Or you could place it through the walls, which is a little bit more difficult, but really satisfying when you pull it off and finish the build. So the nice thing about this is that you get to utilize the lantern's kind of warm lighting, but maybe if you don't like the way the lantern looks, or if you want to keep your lighting hidden around your base, this will be probably the best way of going about that. Now, you don't want to fill every single grid space with a lantern. That can be incredibly costly and you'll run out of lights way too soon. But if you place your lanterns kind of specifically around it, you can create this really nice energy from this wall that just kind of creates like a cozy vibe, kind of. Now for the next wall, this wall is pretty much just a flex. This wall is a big old chonk, but I personally think that this would be a super awesome wall for a base, so much so that I'm probably going to use this for my next base design. So let's get into how you build this big old chungus here. So first things first, you're going to create 2 sets of those walls that I've been setting up so far, where you take your tall walls and you face the flush sides outwards. In between those 2, you're going to leave a gap of 4, and you're going to see why we leave a gap of 4 in just a second here. After that, you're going to take your tall walls and you're going to face the pegs inwards towards each other, just like you've been doing, but you're going to leave a gap of 2 in between those 2 in the space where you left a gap of 4 just earlier. Now with the right side complete, you're going to leave a gap of 3 in the middle, and that's where we're going to be building a doorway, and then on the left side, you're just going to repeat what you did first with those tall walls. And now for the door, it's actually really simple. You're just going to take your pylons and you're going to place them on the far outside walls. And then you're going to take small walls and line them along the inside there. And with that done, your wall and your door is complete. And with this, you wind up with a perfect little 1 wide door that you can go through, as well as having this nice, kind of spacious area in between your walls where you could place things like crafting stations if you need to. Or as well, you could utilize these as tunnels to get in and around your base. Also, since you have 6 walls kind of compacted together and getting in the way of the machines here, I really don't think that this wall could ever be destroyed. Because this wall is so costly though, it might wind up being the only wall that you could functionably have around your base, understanding that cap of 150. And if any of you dudes haven't seen my video yet, I've made a video covering all of the building limits and caps here in the game. That will be linked in the description down below. Next up is a wall that is kind of more of a science experiment than a wall. I wanted to see what would happen if I managed to make like a watchtower wall, or better yet, a watchtower emplacement that you could place onto your wall. Now, it's pretty tough working with a watchtower because it's got so much depth into it, so in order to make a wall that matches its depth, you gotta make something that's pretty chonky. Now, I am going to be approaching watchtower walls in the future, and I might find some cheaper alternatives to this build, but for now, this is a pretty solid build because it's also incredibly defensible. So not only do you get the offensive option of the watchtower, but you also get the defensive option of 15 million walls compacted all together. So this wall centers around the watchtower, so the first thing you're going to place down is that watchtower. Then you're going to take these small walls and you're going to run them along the front side of that watchtower. After that, you're going to take your tall walls, and again, with the flush side facing outwards, you're going to make those kind of double wall systems. But in order to kind of fill the middle two slots along the way here, you're going to utilize small walls again, and you're going to have the two logs facing inwards towards one another. After those two small walls, you're going to place down two more tall walls, and then you're going to finish it off with a small wall, having the logs facing outwards, kind of just capping off the enclosure that you've got here for the hunting tower. Now, if you're going to build this just as a single segment, you might want to take some tall walls and run them along where you've got the tall and small walls in between the two outside-facing small walls. You wind up with this really nice, kind of neat little box that you can place pretty much anywhere around your base. Now, this is a pretty costly emplacement to put into your base, but again, I think that it completely makes up for it because it's an emplacement that the machines would never destroy. But because it's so expensive, I would advise only placing down like one or two of these around your base, just so that way you have enough walls to finish your enclosure around your main command center. Now, unlike the last wall that was a bit of a science experiment and was super costly, this one is cheap, super easy to whip together, and incredibly effective against the machines. The entire idea of this design is creating a wall with a pillbox turret built into it, where the pillbox turret is super defended by the wall, but also easily accessed and repaired by the player. Now, to start this, we're going to build the inner wall first, and we're going to take a tall wall and then place a small wall just on the outside of that. Then we're going to take a pillbox and place it right beside where we placed that tall wall. After that, you're going to place down a pylon and leave a gap of 2 so that you can actually access your pillbox turret. Then you're going to place another pylon, another small wall behind that, and then another tall wall, mirroring what you did on the right side. For the outer wall, you're going to come forwards to the edge of the turret, leaving a gap of 2 in between your tall walls here, and then you're going to have the flush side facing outwards. On that flush side, you're going to place down more small walls in order to, again, give it that nice barricaded look and also give that quadruple wall effect. And then, on top of that, you're going to place down pylons beside your small walls, and in between those two pylons, with that gap of 2, you're going to place down 2 street lamps. Now, what the street lamps do is they serve as a form of protection for your pillbox turret that also allows your pillbox turret to shoot from behind that protection. A lot of times the machines will try to target the lamps and instead will kind of miss what they're actually shooting for and will shoot kind of upwards towards the chunkier bit of the lantern. And the nice thing is that this does not block the pillbox turret very much from shooting the machines on the outside. Every once in a while, the pillbox turret will shoot these lanterns, but it does no damage to them, which is excellent. So what you wind up doing is you wind up prolonging the life of your pillbox turret, and also you wind up with an incredibly functionable defensive wall here. And also with a little bit of tricky jumping, you can utilize the insides of these walls the same way you did with that chonky wall to kind of hide your crafting stations around your base. Now, I'm pretty happy with how that pillbox wall turned out, but I think this wall here at the end is my proudest wall of the bunch. One of the big things that I've wanted to do since I started building here in the game is make these lampposts work a little bit better with the current build palette that we have. And I think that this does a really excellent job of blending the kind of clean metal and glass of the lamppost with the dirty sheet metal and like rough plywood that makes up the rest of our build palette. To build this final wall, all you gotta do is place down pylons and then small walls and alternate them, with the small walls having the logs facing towards you. Then you're going to take tall walls and you're going to place them along with every single small wall, again having the flush sides kind of meet up on the two. Then after mirroring that on the other side, you're going to leave 2 middle gaps here so that you can place in your lanterns, and then you're going to place pylons on the outside of those lanterns, making it really look like they're built into the wall itself. Again, I'm really super happy with how this turned out, and it really makes the lanterns blend well with the rest of your base. Now, let's take some of these lighting walls and actually check them out at nighttime so you dudes can see the impact that the lighting can have here. Nice. Very nice. Nice. So there we go, my dudes. 7 different wall designs. Were any of them your particular favorite? Hopefully this was easy to follow and you dudes can have fun with these designs. Or maybe they even gave you some ideas of your own along the way. Cheers, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, peace.